Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about something that's been on a lot of gamers' minds lately, the recent price changes impacting the Xbox ecosystem around the globe. Now I know talking about prices isn't always the most fun, but it's super important to understand what's happening, why it's happening, and what it means for us as gamers moving forward. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's dive into this. Alright, let's get straight to the point. We've seen some pretty significant shifts in how much things cost in the Xbox world. For those who like to buy their games outright, the standard price for some brand new big-name Xbox titles has jumped up to around $80. Think back not too long ago, and that $60 price tag was the norm. It definitely feels like a noticeable increase hitting our wallets. But it's not just the games themselves. The consoles have also seen a price hike. The Xbox Series S, which was originally positioned as that more budget-friendly way to jump into the current generation, has gone up by a significant margin, around $80 in some regions. And for those eyeing the more powerful Xbox Series X, whether you prefer the digital-only version or the one with the disc drive, you're looking at about a $100 increase. That's a substantial amount of money. And it doesn't stop there. If you're in the market for new controllers or official Xbox headsets, you might have noticed that those prices have also seen a bit of a bump. Essentially, across the board, the cost of getting into and staying within the Xbox ecosystem has gone up. Now the big question is, why? Why are we seeing these price increases now? On the surface, especially when you think about competition in the gaming market, it might seem a little counterintuitive. You'd think companies would want to make their products as accessible as possible to gain more users. However, if we dig a little deeper, it looks like Microsoft might be making a pretty significant strategic pivot. There's a growing sense that Microsoft is shifting its focus even more towards software and services. Think about it. They're not just trying to sell you an Xbox console anymore. They want to sell you games, yes, but increasingly, they want to sell you access to a vast library of games through Xbox Game Pass. And not just on Xbox but also on PC, and potentially even reaching players on other platforms. This suggests a potential long-term strategy where hardware sales become less of the primary revenue driver. Instead, they might be aiming to build a massive subscriber base for Game Pass and sell individual game licenses across a wider range of devices. Some analysts have even compared this approach to the Netflix of gaming, where the subscription service becomes the central hub. Let's face it, the Xbox hardware sales figures haven't exactly been breaking records recently. In a competitive console market, it's been a bit of a struggle. So when you combine that with the decision to raise prices on consoles that weren't flying off the shelves, it definitely raises some eyebrows. It's a bold move, to say the least. It's possible that Microsoft has come to terms with the current hardware sales landscape and is making a calculated bet on their other strengths. By increasing the price of the hardware, they might be aiming to offset some of the costs associated with manufacturing and distribution, while simultaneously pushing more players towards their subscription service. It's a risky strategy, as it could potentially deter new players from jumping into the Xbox ecosystem, at least initially. This brings us to what many consider to be the cornerstone of Microsoft's gaming strategy: Xbox Game Pass. While the price of individual games is going up, we've seen significant growth in Game Pass subscriptions, particularly on PC, with some reports indicating a substantial year-on-year increase. This tells us that the subscription model is resonating with a lot of players. When you're looking at new games costing $80 a pop, suddenly a Game Pass subscription that gives you access to a huge library of titles, including many brand new releases, starts to look like a much more attractive deal. It's almost as if Microsoft is saying, hey, if you don't want to pay full price for every single game, we've got this incredible value proposition over here. However, and let's be real about this, with the increasing value and popularity of Game Pass, it wouldn't be entirely surprising if we saw a price adjustment for the subscription service down the line as well. It's a balancing act, and as the service continues to grow and offer more, the price might reflect that increased value. Now, let's touch upon a factor that's a bit less exciting to talk about, but plays a significant role in all of this: tariffs. While Microsoft hasn't explicitly stated this as the primary reason for the price hikes, many industry experts believe that global trade dynamics and tariffs, particularly on goods imported from certain regions like China, where Xbox consoles are manufactured, and potentially even on game discs from places like Mexico, are playing a considerable part, especially when it comes to pricing in the United States. Reports have suggested potentially very high tariff rates on Xbox consoles coming into the US, which would significantly increase the cost for Microsoft. It's plausible that these global price adjustments are a way for Microsoft to absorb some of these increased costs and prevent even larger, more targeted price increases specifically in the American market. It's all about managing their global financial picture. It's crucial to remember that Xbox isn't operating in a vacuum. We're seeing similar trends across the entire gaming industry. Nintendo has also raised prices on some of their first-party games, and PlayStation has already increased the price of their PlayStation 5 consoles in various regions around the world. This suggests that we might be witnessing a broader shift in how console manufacturers and game publishers approach pricing. The days of selling consoles at a loss to drive software sales might be becoming a thing of the past. Reports indicate that the profit margins on current generation consoles are thinner than ever before, which naturally leads to less room for discounts and potentially higher initial prices. Looking ahead, Microsoft's strategy seems pretty clear. They want to be a major player in the entire gaming landscape, not just confined to their own hardware. Their recent moves, like bringing more of their first-party titles to other platforms like PlayStation and PC, including massive franchises like Call of Duty, Indiana Jones and Forza, highlight this ambition. They've effectively become one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation, and this multi-platform approach is likely proving to be incredibly profitable for them. To make this strategy work in the long run, they need a consistent flow of high-quality games across all these platforms. That's why we're seeing significant investments in their first-party studios and acquisitions of other talented development teams. The future for Microsoft in gaming seems to be less about just selling boxes and more about delivering content and experiences to as many players as possible, wherever they choose to play. So there you have it, a breakdown of the recent Xbox price increases and the potential reasons behind them. It's definitely a complex situation with a lot of moving parts, from strategic shifts within Microsoft to global economic factors influencing the industry as a whole. As consumers, these price hikes can be tough on our wallets, but understanding the underlying reasons can at least provide some context. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these price increases? Are you still planning on buying new games at these higher price points? Or is Xbox Game Pass looking like a more appealing option than ever before? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I always love reading your perspectives. And if you found this breakdown helpful and informative, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. If you're new here and want to stay up to date on all things gaming, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth discussions and insights. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.